Namaste. Hello. Welcome to my channel. This is Spiritual Insight and I am Ali Saul. Come today to speak about spiritual awakening. My spiritual awakening, to be exactly. Something I wanted to share with anybody that would listen, but to find the proper ears that would be accessible to it is difficult. I'm sure if you're watching this and you had a spiritual awakening of any kind of significance, you understand spiritual awakenings are not normally something you just heard. It's not like somebody can just walk up to you and tell you, oh, by the way, you're actually a spiritual being living temporary human existence. We're actually these energy beings, and our thoughts, feelings, and actions control and dictate our lives with what we manifest into it. We can use law of attraction. You know, you can't just speak these things to people and they accept it, because the programming of the Matrix has it that is woo-hoo, esoteric, not real, magic, right? But nonetheless, I wanted to speak to you, to me, to the universe, to the world, to reality itself, my spiritual awakening. Now, to have some context, many years ago I had a slight spiritual awakening, the one I believe many of us on earth get, that we don't actually take as a spiritual awakening, where I was living in a new city, which can promote, a lot of people say spiritual awakenings, big change, upsetness, big things going on, which is why so many people have been awakening over the last 2 years. But I moved to a new city about 12 years ago now. Or actually, I moved there longer than that. But anyway, I was there, and I began to find myself being a vegetarian. Enjoying taking my footwear off and walking on the grass. I no longer wanted to kill or hurt any animals. Not that I've ever hunted, but I mean, I don't buy leather. I don't, try to eat as less meat as I can. And this was all brand new to me. Just like one day I woke up and all of a sudden I was just doing all that stuff. Didn't have any real understanding of why. It was just, it felt right, and it was just, no, let's go do it, right? And at the same time, I began to look into the deep state, as they call it, the conspiracy world, the rabbit holes of spirituality, as I term them. They're the things most people get when they first start to awake. I believe that's the first thing that really rattles our brain. And then when we get behind those rabbit holes, many of us, I don't believe, are able to climb back out. Many of us, instead of continuing the spiritual awakening, it's possible that I believe many of us get locked in the rabbit holes of spiritual awakening. However, having that all take place in me, I began for a year or two or so, my new spiritual way. I was anything but spiritual. I was a very 3D person. I just didn't kill animals. I liked the grass and nature, and I was aware of the deep state, and conspiracies and all that you can imagine. But I negated and pushed away with an arm's reach anything that sounded spiritual to me, because at the time I was a proud Christopher Hitchens reader. Hitch 22, which is amazing that it's the number 22, because that number holds great value to me. This is a book all about disproving the idea of a God, that there's something other than this material world. Richard Dawkins, The God Delusion. I read this book a few times. This was one of my favorite. I carried this with me and everything. I thought this book was very, very good. This is all about how believing in God is a delusion of the mind. So I came from those. You can see they were old. I've had them for years, read them numerous times. But fast forward, 10 years later, I'm now living back in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, where I'm coming from now. And I'm no longer being the same as adamant about, especially the conspiracy theories. I'm aware of them, but they're not in part of my life. I'm basically a 3D person that likes animals and nature. If you know Ricky Gervais, the great comedian, he's very funny, but I was very much in line with him. He is an atheist, but he is an animal lover, nature lover, and wants people just to be nice to people. I was much in like that, but I was an atheist, full on. And then, about 2.5 years ago, I was with somebody, and they were into aliens a little bit, into spirituality, things of that nature. A little alien in my pocket here. And I was with them, and I hung out with them a lot, and everything was good there. But I didn't mind that they were spiritual or into aliens, even though at the time I didn't really think. I thought if aliens were real, they weren't coming here and abducting us and all this such. But anyway, more to the point, and speed things up, I quickly dared the universe, dared the world, dared reality, dared whatever you want to call it, God, source, reality, to wake me up then, because she said, you better watch out, you don't get woke up and see all, So I went to bed that night after having my arms wide open, looking at the sky, daring them to do whatever they want, because I thought if they tried to get my brain was too much for them. I had great anxiety and depression and scattered mind. There was nothing that could disturb my mind. It was too disturbed. But the next day I woke up, and forever from that day I've been a changed person. Had a dream, I would say. Doesn't feel like a dream to me. It feels absolute real. Absolute. As real as anything. And after waking, I quickly draw. Horrible drawer. You kind of see 3 faces at the bottom there, a couple of squiggly lines and stuff at the top. What is it? Well, that night, I had a dream, or a vision, or the source came to me in my consciousness and took me from the room, from my bed. I found myself flying through the sky, seeing the clouds. I remember seeing Earth go off in the distance, like the ground. And then I remember space, literally being in what can only be described as space. and then instantaneously, face to face with the moon. And then quicker than I can say hiccup, I was seemingly going through tunnels like a skeleton in the UFC, in the Olympics, or a bobsled, you know. That's how I felt. Came to a quick stop, and then all of a sudden I had 3 beings in front of me, one on each side. One here, one there, and one there. Alien, definitely. I don't know what they were doing, but they had some weird thing hanging down. Can't say it was probed or any of that silly stuff. But I felt like I was there. And then 2 seconds later, I'm slid across the ground like that I'm laying on something, strapped to it. I'm put right under a big screen. And the screen was displaying characters that I've never seen before, and I haven't seen since. Really. I've tried to draw them the best I could that morning. Kind of look like upside down houses coming on top of each other. And lines all going through it, and just... Yeah, I remember laying there staring at these graphics, these letters, these characters, this information. I remember feeling and saying and yelling out loud, "What is it? What do you want me to know?" I remember so vividly the feeling that they wanted me, that I was supposed to understand it. They wanted me to know it. And then the next day I woke up. I didn't realize that happened right away. We went for a quick morning tea, and on the way back I slammed my hand against the door because it hit me like a bat to the head. Like, oh my God. And I proceeded to tell the story. Was it simply a dream? Possibly. I can see why people would think that. Was I abducted? I'd have to say no. The body, no, because my roof was still there when I came home, when I woke up. And I remember laying on my bed, and I remember seeing the ceiling like disappear, and me go through it. I know my story's a little insane, but aren't we all? And ever since that day, I've been a changed person. Since that day, I now read Abhagata. Beautiful book. I also have Holy Bible. And I have countless pages and scribblers and books and notepads and things of spiritual literature. I decided just to tell my story today is because I realized I was wearing this shirt. I thought, yeah, okay, I'll tell your story.